You are listening to the podcast Discarded. Here we will be discussing unsolved missing persons and homicide cases, cases that have been forgotten, cases that were never given a fair or thorough investigation. In this series, we will be covering missing person Jennifer Poole of Bayshore, New York, and I am your host, Lynn Marie. Welcome back for the second episode of Discarded, where we're going to continue discussing the case of missing person Jennifer Poole of Bayshore, New York. I wanted to note that a few listeners did reach out to me asking questions regarding muted portions of episode 1, so I wanted to mention that was intentional. In the first and future episodes, I did and will be omitting some names of individuals we're discussing for privacy reasons. So to recap the last episode, we introduced you to Jenny. She was 38 years old when she went missing in 2010. She's a daughter, a sister, a friend. She also suffered from mental health issues and addiction. We talked with her sister Christine, who helped us to humanize Jennifer as the person and not the addict. We will also be talking with more of her friends and family in later episodes, but right now I wanted to focus on the timeline and circumstances surrounding Jenny's disappearance. Along with Christine, we also talked with her ex-brother-in-law Neil, who helped us understand as best as they could the last time they saw Jenny, and the events that led up to her disappearance and events that shortly followed that. Per Christine and Neil, Jenny was living in a house in Cold Spring Harbor with her boyfriend Joey and an older gentleman. The gentleman that Christine mentioned in episode 1 where Jenny had put up a flyer, "Cool chick needs a roommate," that guy. He provided for Jenny financially, let her use his vehicles. They were then kicked out because essentially they trashed the place. And that's when Jenny moved into the apartment/cottage in Bayshore where she last resided before her disappearance. The last time they saw Jenny was on April 28th in front of Christine's home when she drove up in a vehicle that she was borrowing from that gentleman. She had gotten out of the car to talk to Neil. When she got out, Neil noticed she had 2 black eyes. He asked her if she was okay. She said yes. She then introduced him to her friends that she had in the car. One of the individuals that she had in the car, she introduced him to as, "This is my friend Champ," who we later find out is Ernest Mateen. Neil didn't have the best feeling. He kind of asked Jenny on the low, "Is everything okay?" And she said, yeah, but he knew that there was something definitely going on. So about 5 days later, on May 3rd, Jenny's landlord went to Christine's office where she was working for the town of Islip at the time and let her know he hadn't seen Jenny in some time and he was concerned. A few days later, Christine still had not heard back from her sister, so she went to the apartment and found the apartment wrecked with blood spatter. She called the police. They made a missing persons report. Crime scene came to the home. They did a full investigation. The next day, they dredged the canal behind the home. I'll be posting pictures of the general area of the canal where they were searching for her body so you can get an idea of where exactly that was. But the events leading up to Jenny's disappearance are still very vague. Now, we know that Christine and Neil saw Jenny on the 28th. We know that the same day that she was with Ernest Mateen. But we also know that in months and weeks prior to her disappearance, she was living with her boyfriend Joey. So I reached out to Joey, who was willing to talk with us about that time period. I was hoping he could give us a clearer picture of what was going on with Jenny that could have led up to her disappearance. Now, please note that the audio from Joey is a bit rough since I still was using that shitty malfunctioning mic that I had, and it turned out to be not so much of an interview. Joey was very emotional, so it ended up being more candid conversation, but this is what Joey had to say.
How'd you meet Jenny?
I was driving down Suffolk Avenue, and she came out of 7-Eleven, and she was walking down the street. I guess that's where her mom lives. And I thought she looked really friggin' hot, you know? So I pull over, and I asked her, can I give you a ride, Ben? I mean, like, you're too pretty to be out here. And you know how bubbly she is, and she jumped in, "Hey, you want to hang out?" I said, "Yeah, I'd love to, you know?" And we hit it off, and from then on, pretty much she invited me to Bruce's house, and we lived there for a while. And then from there, we moved over to where she disappeared from.
So walk me through that a little bit. When you lived with her at...
Okay, she brings me to Bruce's house, right? And me and her are dating. No, he had like $1 million house, right? That his family left. And there was a guy that was in control of his money. And what happened is, I think the guy saw her since Bruce met Jenny. that he was going through a ton of money. Jenny did spend a lot of money. You know, her heroin cost a lot of money. He was spending like $500 a week, if not more, to support her habit.
How long did you guys live with for before you left?
At least 8 months, if not more. Put it this way, no, I don't think we made 3 months in the apartment when she moved there. And in the first month, when we first moved into that cottage kind of thing off the water, it's a huge house. And he calls it a cottage, and it always had this weird aroma. And within the first month, within the first 2 weeks we were there, somebody's knocking on the back door, and the back door faces the water. You know, we come through the garage, down a hallway to the apartment. And I'm like, and this is like 1 o'clock in the morning. Jen's like, answer the door, ma'am. At 1 o'clock in the friggin' morning? I don't know who the hell's out there. So I open the door. Some old guy. He said, can I talk to you for a minute? I said, I really don't know who the hell you are. So he proceeds to tell us nobody has ever lived there past a couple of months without disappearing. We thought he was off his friggin' rocker, right? Place.
What was the guy's name?
No, he never even gave a name. If he did, I don't know. Look, I only met him that brief time. I thought he was a wacko. You know, I wasn't taking him seriously.
So back up. Let's back up a little bit. Now, why did you leave Bruce's house?
Oh, because they were throwing Bruce out. He inherited a lot of money. So the mother didn't trust him and hired this guy, Rich, whoever he is, the person that's in trust, to manage Bruce's money for him. Obviously, you seen Bruce using too much money and was questioning, and Bruce kept mentioning Jenny. Not for nothing, it was $1 million house. Never cleaned a dish. But anyway, basically, he was a pig, and there were roaches in that house. And it was a beautiful house. When I got there and I saw all them roaches, me and Jenny are bombing it, trying to get rid of them. She's like, man, he's a pig. You don't clean nothing. So we just bombed where we were staying at in our room, and there wasn't a roach there. And we'd order out, because I would not eat off of anything in that house. Not with them bugs. So anyway, the guy Rich, whoever he is, the executor or whoever was in charge of the money that the mother hired to keep an eye on Bruce, saw that with the Hummer and all the money being pulled out because of drugs. He don't know it's for drugs, but I'm sure he assumed that he was spending a whole lot of money. Meanwhile, Bruce is working. So basically, he was getting an eviction notice. He had to leave. And that was like around Christmas. So Jenny found, the place in Bayshore. And she said, come on, move with me. I said, not a problem. I'm not leaving you.
How did you find the house in Bayshore?
I was working for transit. She did all the work on her computer. And not for nothing. Man, I went off the deep edge. I was drinking a half a gallon a day or more after she disappeared. I lost my job. I went into treatment for 19 friggin' months. I come out of treatment and nobody's caught. And we were both on the lease at the beginning, right? All of a sudden I come home and she's like, you're not on the lease no more. It's under my name. I said, whatever, Jenny. Do what you want. I'm not going to argue with you.
Were you guys fighting at the time, like not getting along?
I never wanted to fight with her. I loved her, and we never really fought, really. We really almost never fought. We had disagreements over her drug usage. Yeah, that's about it. And she calmed down on the heroin a little bit, but she was laying in bed sweating, all clammy, crying in pain.
And did she ever think about going to rehab?
But what good is treatment if you got this little idiot letting her get high and giving her the money to get high so she sticks around him all the time? That's the only reason he was giving her money. Keep her high so she stays and keeps coming back to him. He wasn't after her benefit. He was after his own. Meanwhile, she's not sleeping with him.
So she's getting this income. You signed the lease. Did you sign the lease too?
We both signed at one time. Both our names were on it at the beginning.
Okay. So you both have a lease. You both move in.
Right.
So you're there for a couple of months. When you lived at Bruce's house and then moved into the apartment, did you ever see or meet this other gentleman that they called Champ?
No, never heard of him. Champ did not come into the picture, I don't believe, until after me and her broke up.
Which was only 2 weeks before?
She disappeared.
Okay.
And if he came in before I left, that would be one of the reasons I did leave, because what happened is when we left the house, I said, I want nothing to do with this frigging guy. I don't want him coming around the apartment nuts. She said, no, don't worry. Unfortunately, she wants his money. So behind my back, she told him where we lived, and we didn't even have a fight. Next thing I know, I come home from work, in the house, and what the fuck is he doing here? You know? I'm sorry about the language. And then she tried to say something. I'm like, oh, man, look, get this midget out of here, man. He ain't no good. And she said, no, you need to go. I'm like, what? Out of nowhere. So what am I going to do? I said, you want this midget or his money? Because you loved me 2 minutes ago. Now all of a sudden we want to stay. So after I left, right, she changed her phone number. He had a combination lock on the door where you push the buttons. So she changed the combination on the lock. She either changed her phone number or whatever she did. I couldn't even contact her. So what I did was once a week, which was short-lived, and knock on the door. And she knew it was me. And she yelled through the door from the bed, which was right there. Go away. I know it's you. I'm like, all right, Jen. Just making sure you're all right. Love you. And I go home.
After you moved out, you said it was about 2 weeks. So do you remember the date that you moved out?
Not exactly. I didn't record it on a phone or anything like that. And then when Christine came to my house, I figured out at the hospital. And she told me, Jenny's missing. I said, what the fuck you mean missing? She's missing. They said, how could she be missing? I just saw her with 2 black eyes. And the weird part is, when I saw her on that Wednesday, I think it was the 29th, 27th or the 29th of the year. I don't remember now. So back in 2010. On the Wednesdays when I saw her with 2 black eyes. And that gave me caution bells. So I took the train. Yes, I was drinking at work as usual. But I parked at Bayshore Rail. Took the train from there. And when I came back from the city, I jumped in the van. This is on a Friday morning. And I drove over there. And I'm knocking on the door. It's 2 days later. It was all quiet. And usually she's yelling, go away, whatever, you know? Or she'll answer the damn door. It was cold, dreary. You just get a chill through your body like something bad happened. And I went around the whole apartment on the outside, beating on everything. It just seemed like something was severely wrong. I knew something bad happened. Unfortunately, I didn't call the police because I didn't want to go to jail for drinking and driving. But if I did, they probably would have kicked in the door and it would have been found out sooner than later. Eerie feeling over me, something bad happened. You know when something bad happened.
Did you ever see anybody else at her apartment?
She never opened the door. She just yelled through the door, go away, or I'm okay. And then until the one time, she opened the door with the 2 black eyes, which I was surprised because they put flowers out and a note on the door and they knocked on it for her to know I was there. And she actually opened the door with 2 black eyes and said, hi, God, I love you. What the hell happened to your face?
And you said that was on the Wednesday, the 28th, that you saw her.
Whatever, yes.
Okay. And what did she say happened to her face?
She said when she was using the wooden spoon to flick the picture to get the hitch thing down with her drugs in it, hit her in the nose. I'm like, that's bullshit. Jenny, I've seen you do it 100,000 times. You never got hit in the face. 2 deep black eyes like a raccoon. Both of them were black and blue. I didn't even know nothing about Champ, but the point was, when she said that, she opened the door. And she opens the door wide with the black eyes. And she says, see, there's nobody in here. I'm by myself. I'm not with another man, Joe. And then she's pushing me